Hey, what's up guys? It's been a while since I made a video, but the last video, if you guys watched all the way to the end, ended up with me letting you guys know that me and Caitlin were going to be moving pretty soon out to about an hour and a half away from where we currently live. And if you can't tell from everything that's not behind me, we've already moved. So this is really the last video that's going to be shot in this space. And as much as that sucks, I think if you guys continue watching this video, you'll understand that, you know, the new space for all the cars and all the fun stuff that I typically record, it's going to be a much better space to do all of that stuff. So without further ado, this is the last time that you are going to see this entire space. It's a really bittersweet moment because, you know, I started the channel in this space. I did a lot. I've lived here for now 6 years. I know the channel's only been around for like a year and a half. But really this was like my first garage, and it was the first house that Caitlin and I ever lived in. So it's just really bittersweet to be moving on from this area. And even though, you know, nothing is in here anymore, and it looks way bigger than what it used to with all of the crap that I shoved in here. And you'll also probably realize when you see the new space, just how much junk I had that I crammed into this little tiny garage. But I think you'll also realize when you see the new space, how much better it'll be for doing larger projects, and also how much better it'll be for growing this channel into something bigger than what it already is. And as much as it sucks to say goodbye to the space that, you know, started everything, it really is time to start a new chapter for this channel. So, you know what they say, when one door closes, another door opens. Come on inside and I'll give you a tour. Before we get into the shop tour, I'm going to go around and give you a quick update on all the vehicles, because I realize it's been a long time since I made a video. A little background, Caitlin and I moved in August of 2024, and that took 2 weekends. The first weekend with like a 20-foot enclosed trailer, hauling a whole bunch of stuff, basically moving the entire house with her parents. And then the following weekend, we moved the entire garage, which involved putting cars on trailers and a huge hassle. So it's been a bit since I made videos, and so we're gonna wrap this up a little bit too. First off, the bike, Really doesn't make the channel all that often, but nothing's changed about it. I have not touched it. I literally haven't ridden it since last year. So hopefully the weather is going to get nicer soon, and we'll be able to ride that. But nothing really that exciting going on with this thing. Next up, we got the Mark I Rabbit pickup truck. This has made the channel a few times, mostly for maintenance work. This has had nothing done to it. I drove it all the way from our old house to our new house. It was about an hour and a half drive there, so it's still running. Truly, it needs some attention. Me leaving it outside for 3 years now has not done well for the paint. Trying to leave it inside as much as I can now, but truly it needs to be painted. I need to work on the brakes. I need to put the new wheels on it, but this still runs and drives, so it's not that high of a priority. But on to the next vehicle. The Mark IV. The Mark IV is still in the same condition as what it left Tail of the Dragon as 2.5 years ago. It might actually be 3 now. But yeah, this got slapped back together very quickly, just like bolt it together. Engine and transmission is in it, but nothing of it works. Everything's hand tightened just to get it to roll onto a trailer, nothing more. So it's actually been sitting underneath the lift since we got here. So hopefully I'll start working on that soon after the Mark II. That's the goal. Really nothing going on with this right now beyond the fact of it's just sitting inside just like it was before. The next thing, which is a new item, is my 1994 Chevy K3500 pickup truck. That's a dually. This is a 454 big block, 4-speed with an overdrive, dually, 4-wheel drive. It is maroon with a red interior, which is super retro. We just bought this, and I'll do a deeper video on this later, but for now that's the quick intro because I couldn't get around to you guys seeing it in this video. And then the last item, which is the best, well, arguably the best, depends on who you talk to here, is the Mark II. So this got slapped back together with the transmission put back in it, even though the case of the transmission was basically empty. It had the diff in it and nothing else. That way that this could roll onto a trailer with the hood closed, because we had to take this on the highway and I only had open trailers. So if we didn't put it back together, it would have been a really rough ride really quickly. So this is still getting worked on. I've made tools to go to the next steps of building the transmission. Those videos will be coming soon. Hopefully that's like the next video that I need to make, is doing all that work. But this is sitting up on the lift, and working on this on the lift is way better than laying on my back doing everything that I used to do. So a little sidebar and a little hint for the future, this is going to be coming off the lift and something new is going to be coming into the garage. That will be coming up shortly as well, but I'm not going to give any more spoilers besides that. But that's the update on the cars. Now let me get some of this moved and we can talk about the whole shop and some of the ideas for the future for this space. So now with all the stuff out of the way, you can see just how big this space actually is. So the shop area is roughly 60 by 30, give or take. It's actually really large. It's a huge upgrade over what I had at the previous house, because that was about, I think that was only 25 deep and maybe 30 wide. So I've like over doubled the space here, almost tripled it. We can fit about 6 cars in here. I can squeeze 7, truthfully, as long as like they aren't trucks. But it's really nice to be able to store everything inside when the weather's bad, and Pennsylvania winters are not always great. But a little bit about how this is going to transform as I keep going through living here. And Caitlin and I's plan for this space, or this whole property, is for this to be mostly a forever home. So first thing, which is probably what most people notice and what all my friends noticed about this house, is the 4-post lift. So this came with the house, which was awesome. The previous owners had a 65 Mustang that they stored on this. It works great. I've never owned or even worked on a 4-post lift before. I usually only work on 2-post lifts. So there's some challenges with that, but it's nice just to have a lift. I did not believe how good this made working on cars again. It's so much better than laying on your back. And now I'm kind of spoiled, unfortunately. So the Mark II has been living on it since we moved in. We literally rolled it right off the trailer, right onto the lift, and kept it moving from there. The other thing about this garage, and you can see part of it up there in the corner, is this shop has a dehumidifier system, it has air conditioning, and it has heat. So I never have an excuse to work on anything anymore, which is good and bad, because when I don't feel like coming out to the shop and I have stuff to do, I don't have an excuse of it's cold anymore. I just have to come out and get stuff done. But it's awesome to have those systems in place to use this space year round and be comfortable the entire time doing it. In York, there was stuff that I would avoid doing because the weather was bad. Like if I needed to weld and the garage was cold, at that point, I'm not welding because I can't weld well in 30-degree weather. The next area though of the shop is, or the next changes I should say, is got a new toolbox, really a tool cart. Bought this on Facebook Marketplace because what I realized when we moved in here and I started working on stuff, walking across the garage to get back to my toolbox was very annoying. And the other thing that you may notice is that's not the same toolbox that I had in York. So I've upgraded to a Harbor Freight US General toolbox now. My dad has my old toolbox. We did a little swap. And this is really nice to have. Tons more space. I have already filled it up, so I am working on expanding it, but just the sockets alone have filled the entire drawer. So that's been awesome to have. I got that like a month or so ago, which by the time I make this video, probably a month and a half or 2 months. But yeah, that's been the great upgrades around here, at least for stuff that I've bought. The other things that I have done is, you can see the black piping running along the ceiling. The shop, the previous owners had an air compressor in here, but he took it with him and everything was just on a hose reel. That's how we did all of it. So I ran black iron pipe around the entire shop. I have a drop over on this side. I got a drop over off of that corner. I left it so that I could expand it. So if I buy equipment in the future that's off of air, I can just run more piping around to wherever I want it. That's been really nice to have. It was a challenge to do it. Would have been a good thing to make a video on, but didn't have the time and I wanted to get it done. So the only other thing that I've done as far as upgrades, so to speak, to the infrastructure of the building is I did a conduit run to run a welder plug out here. That wasn't here before. I did another conduit run that we'll see later for my air compressor, which, as you've noticed from the shots around here, you can't see it. So we'll get there, but I no longer have my compressor in the same room that I'm working in, which is awesome because I can still hear it, but it's not nearly as loud as what it once was. The other thing too, and this is like a long-term plan, is this area that the cabinets are in and also that the GTI is occupying right now. The goal for that is to be the welding area. So I have my welder on a cart finally. That used to be shoved underneath my workbench. I actually have my plasma cutter out. That lived in its box the entire time that I lived in York. I never got that out. So all that's out finally and usable. All the stuff is out to be able to make those work. So we have a goal here to get at least a 4x4 fab table. I would really love an 8x4, but they get really expensive when you start getting into that size. So we'll see as I get into this, but somewhere that I can sit and weld exhausts on a bench top and not have to worry about being on like an aluminum plate that I've set out like I used to do. So that's the goal for that side. The next area to talk about is the actual, like, I'll call it machining area, even though there's no real machining tools over here. I got the shop press over here to do all the transmission build stuff. I have my brake, my finger brake to be able to bend sheet metal. The parts washer shoved over in the corner. And then this is my old workbench that is now repurposed as a fab bench. So belt sander, bench grinder, bandsaw, vise. Got the drill press. I actually have 2 drill presses right now, but one of them's gonna go to my dad. And the whole goal for over here is to just make this like a dirty work area. Metal chips can stay over on this side of the garage, keep it away from all the stuff that I want to keep nice, or make nice, and make this where I make everything. Long-term goals obviously would be upgrading the belt sander, getting a horizontal bandsaw so that I can cut tube and all the other stuff way easier than what I do now, feeding it through that little thing. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to have a mill and a lathe long-term, but I don't know if that's gonna happen anytime soon. And yeah, that's about how this is gonna go. The other bonus of this space is this door, which we're gonna give like a quick peek because no one really wants to see this. But I got a bathroom now in my garage, which is awesome because the distance from here to the house would suck in the middle of the night to have to go back and forth when you have to go. And then the next part behind this door is one last room. This is the compressor room plus storage is the goal here. And by goal, I mean we've already executed it. We got racking on every corner. Everything is divvied up by car for the most part. Caitlin actually did this for me when I was doing other stuff. She would walk up and actually I was fixing her car and she would walk up and go, "Hey, what's this part to?" And I'd tell her what car and she'd go, "Okay, it's on this shelf now." So we did all of this to organize everything. And when I say organize, I mean, I don't know where anything is anymore, but I at least know the room that it's in and can hunt it down. The other thing in this room is the air compressor behind the door. So that's piped into the other room. The only negative of doing that is these walls aren't insulated. So there's some sound dampening, but not a ton. So that's something that I want to fix in the future and run or put insulation and sound deadening in the wall so I don't hear this thing running nearly as much when I'm out there, because it's not loud anymore, but it's just like an annoying drone in the background to listen to it kick on and off. So it's been really nice to do that. I did the entire cable run up and around the ceiling for conduit, so it's all hard piped in. That's the first time, both of those are the first time that I ever ran conduit, and truly it went really well. I'm really happy with the end product of it. I think it looks really good. I don't know if I'd call it professional, but it's professional enough for me. The only other thing that's going on in this room is we got the bumpers and like big part storage on the floor here. Eventually this is going to go to the shed, which we'll walk out to. I'm just going to show you guys. We're not going to go into the shed, but I want to build up one of those storage bin racks in this space because I think that would be a really good way to get stuff off of the shelves and organize it a bit better in bins that I can label and take out and things of that nature. Stuff that doesn't need to be sitting out open to be seen. But that's all of the indoor shop space. We got one more area in this building that we're going to go see right now, and that is upstairs. So this building has, well, the shop area has about 12.5-foot ceilings. But you could tell from the video that one, there's windows. Two, the ceiling or the roof line is way higher than 12 feet. So there's another surprise to this space, and that is we have a hangout area. We have extra living space upstairs that we're going to go see right now. So when we looked at this house, this whole space was advertised as an apartment, which Caitlin and I didn't really care that it was an apartment. We just thought it was nice to have and could potentially be additional income. Unfortunately, after we moved in, we got a letter from the township that told us that we weren't allowed to have this space. The previous owners didn't do paperwork properly, so on and so forth. It was a whole mess that we're finally through. But basically, the gist of it is that the township doesn't allow you to have second dwellings, which a second dwelling classifies as a separate building that has cooking appliances. So the gaps over here were a stove and microwave, which is what made it a second dwelling. So in order to rectify the whole situation, we removed those. This is now just a wet bar, and it's a great hangout space. There's 2 bedrooms, 2 baths down there. The long-term goal for up here, which is a very long-term thing, would be to make this more open and a really great hangout space. The 1 bedroom right now I'm using for a slot car track. Yeah, just make this a cool place to have friends over and chill and not have to squeeze everybody into the house. There's also the deck out on this side. Which is an awesome place just to sit and chill as well. The previous owners left this gazebo thing, which we'll leave for now, but we'll probably look at something different in the future. Great view of the woods out here all by ourselves. And that's the gist of this building. We're gonna walk around back. I'll show you the shed. We got one other surprise that's hidden behind this building, and then we'll do a quick walk around the house, just the main floor to see the living space. So this is our shed, also included with the property. It's really big. Honestly, you could put probably a full-size pickup truck inside this if the door is tall enough. So this is extra storage space. It has all the yard and lawn equipment in it right now, scrap wood, stuff of that nature. I'm not opening it up to show you the mess that's within it. But it's just great to have extra storage space because, like, walking around the garage, all that stuff that was in there, between the storage room and everything else that you saw, that was all in the garage in York. I don't know how I had all that stuff squeezed in there, but having this as an overflow to get yard equipment out and things that don't need to live with all the cars is fantastic to have that extra space. The one other thing with this area is the previous owners had like a parking space back here. So we have a surprise. We have something that's going to occupy this space. I ordered a trailer. I won't give you the details on it because I'll probably make a video for picking that up and you can see it then. But I ordered a trailer and it's gonna live back here, and that'll be super awesome for when I need to haul stuff around out there. The last surprise of this area is the previous owners put a second heating system into this area. So this beast here is a coal and wood stove that it heats the water to the house. So if I lose power, or we lose power, or something happens that we run out of heating oil, anything of that nature, I can fire this up and have hot water up in the house. I have heat up there because it's hot water baseboard up in that building. And all you have to do is keep scrap wood around to keep burning. So it's been a learning experience for sure. It's not something that, like, just because you know how to light a fire does not mean that you know how to run one of these things. Takes a lot of trial and error to figure out how much wood or coal or whatever will make it through the night that you don't have to keep filling this thing. But yeah, we now on the weekends, Caitlin and I go around and pick up free wood off the side of the road or out of people's yards that they don't want anymore, just to have laying around in case we want to run this and save some money. So it's been interesting, to say the least. But that pretty much wraps up the entire shop area, garage, second building as a whole. Now we're going to take the quick walk up and walk through the main floor of the house, show you guys some of the views out of the living room and things of that nature, and then we can wrap it up at that point. So this is the main house. We have our designated greeter here who is leaving his post. This is our new cat, Dexter, who Caitlin, who is currently behind the camera, is absolutely obsessed with. So you will get plenty of shots of Dexter walking around here. But this is the kitchen. I never went through the house in New York. You guys never saw that. But this is probably 3 times the size of what the kitchen was in New York. This is the draw for Caitlin, truly. I wanted the garage. She wanted the kitchen. So that's how we landed on this home. And then from there, you get dining room, which is kind of a mess right now. So be it. And then this is the living room. And the beauty of this space is the giant windows here to overlook all the woods and down the hill. It's honestly a tremendous view to come down here for the sunrise every day. And the bird feeder there is a great entertainment value for Dexter because he loves to bird watch. But yeah, that's a little bit of the main house. The only other thing that's down here, there's 2 more rooms. And they're both a bit of a work in progress right now. The first one here, we didn't know what to do with this space. There was a door where Caitlin's standing with the camera. We made it into just shoes and storage, but the more we talked about it, the more it made sense to make this into an office for both her and I. So that's the long-term plan for this area. We have an office upstairs right now, one of what's considered to be a bedroom. So that will all get moved down here. I'm hopefully setting up a permanent editing space, which will make my life way easier, hopefully. Editing still takes forever. It's every YouTuber's worst nightmare is editing. But I guess party of 3 here is going to go out. Maybe? Nope. So this last space that has an awkward step down, this used to be a garage. That's why the front of the house doesn't match for this area. But the whole goal here is to have Caitlin's workout space, build this out into a gym. The previous owners used this as an office. They were running a asphalt repair business here. So now we're going to turn this into Caitlin's gym. That was another draw for the house for her. So yeah, that's most of the property. The overall property size truly is 3 acres with really, like, as we've walked around, we probably only live on about half an acre of it. The rest of it is all woods down the hill, which is awesome because I don't have to mow it. But the little bit of mowing that we do have by the house sucks, truly. But yeah, it's been an adventure to get here. We had a lot of challenges. All of our close friends know that. And what I truly want to end the video off with is we owe a lot of things to our family, our friends, and all the people that helped us get to this point. Our family helped a ton with moving. Our friends helped a ton with moving. It was literally a full day of just moving a garage, not including the house. That was 2 days. And it was not fun. We've had a lot of struggles with getting into this space, and those are over now, thankfully, but we owe a lot to those people. So if you've made it this far and you are one of those people, thank you very much for everything that you did. And for the people that aren't included in that group that just watch my channel and keep up with all this stuff, or maybe this is your first time watching, thank you for sticking with me as I've made this transition. It's been a long time coming, and hopefully with the new larger shop space, we'll be able to do bigger, badder projects in the future and get those on the channel. But that's going to wrap this up. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. We'll see everybody next time.
No, he's actually,
Spence, I got the whole thing.
It's like he didn't learn anything in all his engineering classes about, like pulleys and shit.
That was a very important class for us.
It's stuck on the.
Every couple like minutes, I just like bring up thermodynamics or something like that, and they all cringe. Come on, over. You're good.
Get on this side.
Sure, the brakes are good, but who knows what they're like down here. And you're on the ground. There you go. You're good. Don't lose momentum.
Go ahead, Ray. I lost it.
No, that was. Oh yeah, you lost.
Rocket. Come on back. Push, good.
There you go.
Oh, what? You good?
Yeah.
You're good, Spence.
That's really well.
You're good.
Is that a sailing thing?
All right, push.
Thanks for saying bye.